Hey guys, and welcome to another Weekly Thoughts. This time all 5 shows are back. So you have The Simpsons, Family Guy, Bob's Burgers, Bless the Heart, and The Great Noah. All here for yours truly, me, to talk about today. So I don't want to waste your time. Let's get started with The Simpsons and Mother-Child Reunion. This episode sees a fortune teller tell the Simpsons family that Lisa in the future as an adult, and she decides not to go to college, and Marge kind of develops a grudge because her daughter won't go to college like she wanted. So, I thought this one was actually pretty dang good. I know a lot of people didn't really like it, but I thought it's definitely one of the better ones this season. Now the show's tackled future episodes before, but I don't think this one's as good as, say, Barthood or Lisa's Wedding or especially Holidays of Future Past, which is probably my favorite future episode, to be honest. Maybe Barthood, but one of those two is definitely my favorite. I think continuity is very limited in The Simpsons, so I think it's okay for them to shift to alternate timelines. I like the interesting path that Lisa goes, to question her abilities. It feels sort of real to me because, sometimes people wonder why they're dedicating all their time and their effort and they're not getting any results out of, putting in all the hard work. Marge sees a lot of potential in her daughter, and she's upset because, she worries that all the learning and tuition and music lessons she went through would all go to waste. It feels real here because parents want their kids to succeed and do what they want, but at the same time, parents don't realize that they don't really have much control over their kids' futures once they're adults. The only thing I'd say I didn't like about it was probably that Marge continues to keep pestering Lisa over going to college even after she's so successful. Because, college, sure, it's a stepping stone to get you where you need to if you have no idea or no direction in what you're going to do, sure. But, if Lisa's continuing to be successful without college, why does she have to go now? There's no point. It's a waste of time. The episode is kind of funny. Homer has some good lines, like the part where he wanted to play blackjack with the fortune teller. I thought that was funny. I guess it's not that funny, to be honest. I was more driven by the story. Werner Herzog, I guess he was okay. I didn't like his, him telling about, the cards and stuff was creative, but I didn't like how he was dragging on his comedy and his magic show. I just thought that was a waste of time. I liked how the characters characterized Bart here. He feels like the younger Bart, but he also continues to reinforce that sibling bond that they have together. Although I do wish that maybe instead they could have done an episode of how Bart became a successful, pot dealer instead, because I think that would be a great future episode, to be honest. There's no really resolution though, which I feel like the couch gag took away from. It's not a Matt Selman episode, so there's definitely a couch gag. And then the fortune teller Werner Herzog dragging out his comedy, I felt that kind of maybe took away from that. But maybe it could have been a little better, but it's not bad. Next up, we have Family Guy and Family Cat. This one sees Peter creating an HD TV, building homes and kitchens and stuff. That channel, they create a kind of show with his friends, and then somehow a cat gets in the house, and the Griffins decide to adopt it after Peter breaks a hole hosting the show. And then Brian doesn't like the cat, and he thinks it's evil. So, to be honest, I was expecting this to be really bad, but it actually wasn't that bad, to be honest. Even though it's the worst of the week, it's still not that bad. It's probably one of the better ones this season. I think the beginning setup kind of was unnecessary. It got a little repetitive. It started out okay, just got a little repetitive. It's kind of like those disjointed Family Guy episodes, like Who's Brian Now, which they did a few weeks ago, as they do one thing and then they fully abandon it for another thing. I feel like that's sort of a problem in recent Family Guy episodes, because I like ones that, sometimes they have a little gag here and there, but they jump right into the plot and make it interesting. To be honest, my favorite Family Guy episodes, to be honest, have most of their cutaways in the first act, and then they dedicate the final 2 acts to telling story. Because I really don't like it's just my opinion, but I cannot click with episodes that have a ton of cutaways in the final act. Like, no. Like, my favorite Family Guy episodes use the cutaways in the first act to get viewers to laugh and, stay. Then they dedicate the final 2 acts to focusing more on the story. And this only reinforces my point that the show used to have a good balance of story and jokes and cutaway gags. I was quite surprised when the cat started talking to Brian. I didn't really expect that, but I kind of knew the cat was going to be evil, but it could have went either way. I like the fight scene. There was some good action. I guess there's not really much to say about it, to be honest. That's all I have to say about it. It's decent at best. But yeah. Next up, we have Bob's Burgers and Steel Magazine Oleus. This one sees a magazine from Dr. Yap's dentist's waiting room gets stolen, and Dr. Yap suspects that one of the kids stole it. Elsewhere, Bob discovers he has bird poop on his front window, and he tries to clean it, and then Teddy helps him. So, I thought this episode was pretty solid. It's kind of standard for the show nowadays. I like them bringing back Dr. Yap. Like, him going to desperate lengths just to get back the magazine is amusing to me. I think this episode was definitely better than the previous two. Like, the one that they did about the car accident was just plain boring, and like the last act, to me, it felt like one of those like Dora the Explorer type of shows, like where they sing a song. I mean the song in context is fine, but other people didn't take it the same way I did. And then Bridge Over Troubled Rudy was mostly boring in the middle. So yeah, those both episodes weren't that good. I think this one is definitely. To be honest, I think Bridge Trouble over Rudy is about the same as this one. Now that I think about it, I think I overrated it when I first saw it, but I think it's about the same as this one, to be honest. I just didn't think the writers really didn't take it any way that felt intriguing. Like Family Guy season 9 opener, like when James Woods dies and everyone in the group has to find out who killed him, they play a game of who did it, and I kind of wish they did that here because that would have been more interesting. Instead, this episode goes in a direction where we as the viewers immediately find out in Act 1 that Gene ends up stealing the magazine, and then for some reason it was just so easy to get him back into his car. I do like how it plays into, it uses the subplot as part of the plan, but to be honest, it's pretty substandard. It's a little bit predictable. It's not very funny either, to be honest. I guess Tina's obsession with the fox was kind of funny, but it kind of dragged on, and then I didn't really like it after that. It was funny at first, but then it kept bringing it back, and nah. But I do like the sweetness at the end with Dr. Yap understanding of the thing that he barely wins and stuff like that. It's not really a kind of connection where I could say it's like exact, but I think that because they both kind of have a similar thing, he ends up letting Gene keep the magazine, which was kind of sweet. I also liked him naming the name for his Mazda Honda. He calls it a Mazda something. Yeah, I honestly don't remember what it is, but I remember getting a good chuckle out of that. I thought the subplot was pretty good. I like having Teddy helping out with Bob, and like once it gets into chaos, it gets even better. So, but I don't really have much to say about it. It's like I wouldn't watch this again by choice, but if it was on, I wouldn't mind. I just hope season 11 closes off really strong with its final 2 episodes, and we get some good episodes. I want another episode that I can talk about for a long time. Like, the 200th episode, I could talk about that forever. So, and I want another one of those before this season ends. There's only 2 more, and I'm thinking the season finale will be the one that I talk about more, because next week's doesn't sound very good. Next, excuse me, we have Bless the Hearts and When You Lose, You Win. This one is a board game episode with Jenny having an anger problem over board games. And Betty gets a ride in a cop car after requesting assistance off the road in the rain. To be honest, I thought this was one of their best episodes in a long time. I am not kidding, to be honest. I thought the subplot was pretty good. No, actually it was good, but it wasn't like Hot Temptation, like where it's, I loved the entire subplot with Betty and Julian, but I didn't think this was boring at all. I think Betty has evolved into the kind of character that the writers know what she wanted to be, like in Trolling with the Homies and the Dog-Turning Candidate. There's a kind of, how do I say it? There's a reason why, she's so lunatic and wild, and it doesn't feel like it's being forced either. Like, she just does it, and it feels much more natural. Especially in the scene with Trolling with the Homies and how they're trolling like they're going against each other because for jobs and stuff like that, because they use Yelp reviews as a way to get back at each other. And in the Dog-Turning Candidate, how she complains about being able to not park in the ambulance ramp, then she goes and complains that everyone has to drive an ambulance. Again, there's a kind of thing to her personality, like her lunacy, that doesn't feel like it's being forced. And I think that's one of the things that I really enjoy about Betty's character. In this episode, she solves her own problems in her own style, and I thought it was pretty fun. Like her solving the domestic conflict, it didn't really escalate into violence, but it was nice. I'll touch base on it a little bit later. So now we're going to the main plot, and the main plot is generally really fun. Like from David losing his mind over Jenny's anger problem of being a sore loser in board games, to Betty trying to sleaze up to the cop. There's just so many things that I could name that I really like, but I don't want to talk about it. It's too long. But the Crazy Rules, Violet and Wayne came up to let Jenny win was quite funny. And I especially love the unique animation style with them inside the board game, and the backgrounds and those scenes were so well done, and it has their little character snippets, so in the original style. Those scenes were really cool. I thought they were a nice way to make the episode look different. It was actually kind of sweet at the same time, because there's sort of a justified way to the way she acts. She acts all angry because she's not used to feeling like she loses because of the way she grew up. Her mom had let her win every board game because she lost her dad at a young age. They were poor. Later on, she got pregnant in high school. She had to quit her dream cheerleading job. Both of these were revealed in Megalo 2, and she also wasn't financially stable. That's why they go to Black Fridays every year. I think they kind of adjusted the timeline a little bit, but I know the showrunner said that in an early draft of Cremains of the Day, they had it so Ed died when Jenny was at a young age. So I think they kind of just put it here, but it could have been possible that actually, to be honest, I think this is fairly accurate. It just wouldn't kind of be accurate to those who remember that episode fondly, and then they're like, wait, didn't Ed die when Violet was a child? But then that may have been that they're only able to bury him at that time, or like Betty wasn't willing to let go until that time, or something like that. But my favorite part was the box at the end, with Jenny and her dad tying. That was easily my favorite part of the episode. I also like how the subplot comes together with the main, with Betty having to explain to Jenny when she sees when the cops call to the Greenpoint Rec Center after Jenny plays with the kids, and then she gets all mad because she's losing. So I think Travis isn't annoying in this one, because I thought last week he was kind of annoying. Like I liked it when he was giving out food, but he uses the food as a distraction. I think he's better as a side character, to be honest. Then this is definitely the strongest episode I've seen in a while. It's pretty damn funny. I wasn't bored. Everything about it shines pretty nicely. It's also a good take on board games, and those Monopoly scenes are just fantastic stuff. So now we're on to the Great North and Game of Snones, and this one, they're having a game night kind of like West Stars, except a blizzard like separates them, splitting it into 3 sort of plots. So the first plot is Beef hallucinates on expired cough medicine, and he goes outside and he gets lost in the blizzard. Wolf and Honeybee are coming over to the main house from the guest house, but then the blizzard gets so strong that they end up getting lost too, and they end up getting separated as well. And then Jerry, who was supposed to go play with them too, he's stuck at the mall. So then Allison has them do a modeling shoot for her, and yeah, that's like 3 plots. I'm gonna say it right now. I thought the Great North definitely won the night this week. I mean, Bless Our Hearts was close, but I think this episode was slightly better. So the Great North has won the night. Well, if the Great North didn't have an episode last week, can I really say it was 3 times in a row? But for the 3 episodes recently that the Great North had, it's won the night every single time. So, and that's a good thing, because the show continues its trend on delivering strong episodes in its debut season. This is a true adventure. It's fast-paced. It doesn't feel like it's all over the place, kind of like Duncanville has those episodes where they do too many things at once and it feels kind of disjointed and disorganized. This didn't really have that feel. It really feels like a true adventure, finally, that the Tomans finally have. Other than Tusk in the Wind, the one that aired last week with Beef and Wolf idolizing that Tusk Johnson guy. I liked how the family got lost in the blizzard, because I think things got better from there, because it was kind of, I think the episode kind of started off a little slow. It was a little boring at first, but it definitely got better as it went on. Having them all lost and seeing them react to it was really funny. I think Beef hallucinations provide for some hilarious moments. My favorite part was when Beef asked why his snowflake friend has a wife and a son, like his imaginary snowflake friend. It's easy to get lost in the blizzard in a short span, so I'm glad the writers did their homework. My favorite running gag, though, was Moon cheating, but he was being really bad at hiding it. Like, he promises he won't cheat, but we'll never know if he actually goes through with it. The subplot was actually pretty fun. I was expecting it to be pretty boring, but I think it was just nice to see what Jerry was doing. We haven't seen him in a while, and I really like Jerry, so like, I want more of Jerry. Like, if they can make Jerry a regular cast member, I would be so happy. Like, and it's not just because Ron Funches is such a good actor, because he is, but I mean, Jerry as a character he's funny, he's sweet, and I think he's just a good addition to have. So I hope that he continues to appear more, and this isn't just a few episodes and he goes away. I like it when he's here. And sorry, Wolf continues to grow on me as well. I didn't care for Wolf at first, but now he's becoming more likable. I'm starting to care for Wolf more. Him needing to pee during the blizzard but not wanting to let go of Honeybee was pretty hilarious. And then especially I liked how Honeybee got lost, and then she finds the Tobin shed and she creates a signal for the other family members to unite together. I really like how Honeybee's coming into her own character and just not the wife who exists. Because I know people were like, oh, is that the maid who eats with them? But Honeybee's a lot more than that. She's such a great character. She's probably one of my favorite characters in the show after... I think, to be honest, I think either Judy or Beef are definitely my favorite characters in the show. I don't really care for Wolf that much, but Wolf is growing on me. I think he's getting better. But I think the best part of this episode is like Beef, like caring for his family. Yeah, just the reinforcement that he cares so much for his family, like especially for Wolf. We've seen in this episode and the last one, it's more so about Wolf. Like and like how he's emotionally open to his kids, even despite the troubles he's been going through with his wife left him and stuff like that. It's nice to see a dad who subverts from typical sitcom tropes. I do not want another Peter Griffin dad in adult animation. No, we don't need another Peter Griffin. We don't need another Stan Smith. We probably don't need another Homer Simpson. I kind of think Jack Harris from Duncanville is kind of like Homer Simpson, to be honest. Only he's not as mean. But I really like this episode. It's fast paced. It has adventure. It's funny. There's only one more episode. It's the season finale. They get married next week, Honeybee and Wolf. But unlike Jenny and Wayne, they're actually going to get married. Jenny in season finale, bless their hearts, Jenny and Wayne actually did not get married. They believed that getting married would make them, their things suffer because of Jenny's previous marriage to her ex-husband Don Reynolds. And I think this episode of The Great North is going to be probably the best one of the season, to be honest, because it focuses on a big moment. There's a surprise guest. There even might be an antagonist because there's an unexpected guest, so it could be someone who's working against them, or something that'll rip the family apart. I definitely think it'll be one of those episodes that I'll really, really like and I'll really want to talk about. The season's coming to an end. I'll probably be doing a few videos on The Great North this summer, but I do want to cover Bob's Burgers first. But stay tuned because I definitely want to talk about The Great North. I do want to talk about beef, and I kind of want to talk about something. To be honest, I'm not so sure. I might talk about imaginary friends kind of thing, but it'll be from a lot of shows, not just The Great North. To be honest, I thought this was a great episode. Definitely my favorite this week, but it's not my favorite overall, but it's definitely top 3. So, those are my thoughts on these 5 episodes. So, pretty good scores for most of them. There wasn't one that I thought that was bad. This was a surprisingly good week. So, what did you think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.